Raven fans, Oriole fans, tonight, Raven fans, this is our night, one of the biggest nights of the year. Quote Chris Berman, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, all rolled into one. It's draft day. Hallelujah. It's draft day. Thank you for joining us here tonight on our special pre draft version of our Ravery Sports podcast. So we're celebrating tonight, obviously, before the draft even starts, aren't we? So just in case you haven't heard, most of you, I'm sure have. Baltimore Ravens and quarterback Lamar Jackson come to an agreement on a 5-year extension, $260 million, 185 guaranteed per the league and team sources. It's done. You know, we all have our versions of that. Some of you, if you watch the Ravens Sports site, it's like, why is a gospel song, Hallelujah, on under the Lamar extension when I put that on there? And the reason for that is we all have our versions of that tonight. As a content creator, as a fan, as a business, selling jerseys, whatever, we are all thrilled, all three of us, me, the owner, me, the fan, me, the content creator. I was all happy that Lamar has signed with the Ravens. His contract is completed. He is going to be on paper now. Seems to change every time we get a quarterback. He will be the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League as of right now. What happened here? So we've been hearing this for the last couple days. We've been hearing a rumor that DeAndre Hopkins was going to sign with the Ravens. But we're hearing a little bit more that the progress was moving with the Lamar negotiation. Personally, I didn't take it that we've heard so much about it, but it really was coming close for what I'm hearing lately, and now it's here. So the Lamar extension has happened. I think both sides, the Ravens and Lamar, both came to their senses. I think the Ravens capitulated. This was the first thing I've seen past that 133 number that they were holding so hard on. So the Ravens did come up with a higher number as far as a guaranteed, fully guaranteed money. I think that was what most of it was, that they didn't ever at any point come past that 133 number as far as being fully guaranteed. That number there, it looks like it was 185 total that's been reported. Total contract worth $260 million. He's been saying, he told Stephen A. Smith that he did not want a fully guaranteed deal. As much as that's been out there in the media, going by what he said, he did not want a fully guaranteed deal, but he did want more than what they were offering. Ravens finally came up with more fully guaranteed money, and I think that's what did the deal. I think also on the Ravens side, capitulated a little bit. A lot of speculation. I've heard a lot of contracts saying the Jalen Hurts contract helped, maybe, possibly. I think the Lions lunch factor. They were taking a lot of heat. And I think they said, we got to rethink this thing. We're not looking so great. Possibly. Whatever it is, it's done. We can stop talking about it. As fans as we can stop talking about it. 5-year contract for Lamar is completed. And now he is going to go ahead. And now we can get back to focusing on the business, off the business and on back on the field, and how the Ravens are going to beat the Bengals and the Steelers, most definitely Steelers, and the Browns in the division, and the rest of the AFC and the rest of the NFL. So we can get off of that finally now that the deal is done. So congratulations to Lamar Jackson for his new contract. Congratulations to the entire Ravens organization. And let's, as fans, get back on the same page. See a lot of people, there was so much of this, well, the Ravens are on one side and the Ravens fans on the other side, on the Lamar side of the Ravens side. Let's get off of that too. Let's get back on the business of winning and being Ravens fans and just caring more about beating the Steelers than this stuff. Okay, so I actually had more to talk about there as far as Lamar, as far as the draft, but we don't have to now. Now that the contract is done, he's going to be your starting quarterback for the next 5 years. Now, to the night's action, the draft. One of my favorite days of the year on the sports calendar, the NFL draft. Chris Berman would call it the National Football League selection meeting, annual selection meeting. That's what he used to call it. So, what's going to happen tonight? Let's talk general NFL first, too. Bryce Young will be drafted number 1 by the Carolina Panthers. This has all been but said. I speculated on this many weeks ago when when Carolina made the trade up to Chicago's number 1 spot. I definitely thought they were definitely trying to trade ahead of Houston, which was definitely interested in Bryce Young. That's why they made the trade to go all the way up to the first spot. And I think he's going to be drafted number 1 pick from the Carolina Panthers. That I think is definitely going to happen tonight. Bryce Young, the first pick. Drama apparently starts at number 2. I think we're going to have 5 QBs taken in round 1. I'm pretty sure we're going to have all 5. There are too many teams out here needing quarterback. Now that Lamar is definitely off the market, there's going to be no more trade talk and things on that as far as getting Lamar Jackson. So even more teams are going to be looking for that next quarterback. Okay, 5 are going to go in the first round. I predict. I don't think any of them are going to go in the second round. After that, it's a big gap. You're going to go third round, maybe a late second in some cases. And if you want a starter or a potential starter, you're going to have to go with the 5 at the top. And I think they're all going to be gone. There's about 10, 11 teams, I think, still in need or potential need of a quarterback. Let me, guys, go ahead over quarterbacks. My list. This is not the group think. This is not everybody else. This is not a prediction when I think it's going to happen. If I were the GM of these 5 teams, if I had my big board, this is the 5 that I would have. C.J. Stroud, by just a hair of the chin over Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud, I think, is getting slept on. I think a lot of the criticism is kind of like silly with all this Wonderlic score, and who cares? Watching him on the field, prototypical size, athlete, excellent arm, everything you want in a quarterback. The only thing, offense was a little bit easy one read. Definitely, I have him right there. Bryce Young, best reader of the field. If you could go from the 4th read, which is the first guy you're supposed to look at, to the 4th read, which is the 4th guy, in that short time frame, that's Bryce Young. That's why they keep calling it Bryce Young Magic. Bryce Young, excellent thrower of the ball, excellent clock in his head. Only concern with him, the reason why he's 2 and not 1, the size. He's not a big guy. He's really small, and he's not a great runner. He's not the athlete that Stroud is, but it's by the hair of the chin. I think if you took Young first, it's 1 and 1A, but they're very close. They are, to me, miles away from the other 2. 3rd is Will Levis. Will Levis has been bouncing up and down the boards here pretty good here lately. Will Levis is, I have him as high as some I've heard as high as 4, high as 2, high as, then out of the first round, all over the place. Levis to me is a starter and not a star. I think when I've seen him, he kind of plays well against bad teams. He has a huge day. And then when he's playing good teams, not so much. Kind of average, okay-ish. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with Will Levis. For him, he's okay. I think long-term, if he's in the right situation, though, right team, like a lot of these guys, I think definitely he could be a starter for you for many years. Hayden Hooker, 4. Have him 4. Older, 25 years old. So he's about the same age as Lamar Jackson, frankly. He's about 25. So I think the knock on him is, and he's had the injury, he looks really good. Improved every year. Tennessee improved every year. Very good downfield accuracy. Very good. I love the fact that he improved his game. That's the thing. He got better, and the team got better as it went along. So he did everything he was supposed to do as far as that. I have him 4. Anthony Richardson, I've been killing him. Anthony Richardson. the best athlete of the 5 on this list. The best athlete. He runs like Lamar Jackson. He has a phenomenal throwing arm. I think the best throwing arm of all 3, and that includes Stroud Young. He's 5th because he was a 45% passer, and he hasn't played much. He's a little green to go ahead and draft him this high. That's why I have him in the 5 spot to go ahead and that. With that said, I think he could be 2nd or 3rd as far as getting drafted in the draft. I think everybody is falling in love with his athleticism. Okay, so those are the 5 that I would take if I was the GMs. Now, what I think will happen tonight, because I'm not the GM, obviously. My predictions of the 5 quarterbacks. I think we know Bryce Young is going to go first. He's going to be your number 1 draft choice from the Carolina Panthers. They're going to go ahead and take him early right away. Bryce Young is going to start for Carolina immediately, pretty much. Stroud, I'm hearing a lot of noise. I'm hearing it's Jalen Carter, the 2nd pick. I'm hearing a lot of other stuff for the 2nd pick. I think it's Stroud 2nd. I think a lot of smoke. Houston be kind of silly to do that. However, with Houston, they have 2 first-round picks. Okay, so maybe they're thinking, okay, let's go ahead and take Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, or whoever it is, in the 1st pick, and then we'll take the other quarterbacks. How close is the other quarterbacks to Stray Stroud for them in that? We'll see on that. They have 2 first-round picks. They're picking 12th in the 1st round. So they could even maybe trade up, go to 8, go to 9, possibly. I think that could be what they're doing. That's the way they're looking at it if they couldn't get Bryce Young. I got to think they're taking the quarterback, 2. Anthony Richardson, 3. More and more I've heard the Colts taking Will Levis. I predicted it would be Anthony Richardson. Thinking it'll probably be Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. Levis, I think, is going to go a little bit later in the 1st round. I think Tennessee's going to go ahead and take it. Tennessee Titans are going to go ahead and take Will Levis. I'm thinking it'll be pretty early. Tennessee, I think, I've heard them all week moving for a quarterback. I have no idea what that is. Clearly, they're not happy with Malik Willis. Clearly, and they're going to have to move on from Ryan Tannehill pretty soon. If I don't know about right away, but he's 35, so they're going to have to start thinking about it. Hayden Hooker, I think, is going to be in the 1st round. To me, I have him a little higher than I think him and Levis are pretty close. I have him a little higher, but I think he's going to be the last. The injury is a thing. He has been cleared, according to reports, to go ahead and play right away when the season starts. So we've heard so far. So that is the thing there as far as that goes. Best defensive players. 3, I think, are the best defensive players. Will Anderson, best pass rusher in the draft. I think Will Anderson is phenomenal. Again, a little small. I think that's the only reason why there's not even more clearing. He's an outstanding pass rusher. He's going to start right away. He's going to make a difference right away. He's going to get 10+ sacks in nearly next year. Has to be double teamed every time you play him. Definitely, that's going to be a big thing to go ahead and take care of that with him. He is going to have to double team. Speaking of double team, the next guy, Jalen Carter, you need more than 2. This guy is phenomenal. I think he's the best defensive player in the draft. Has off-field issues. Got arrested. Still has some legal issues, maybe pending. A lot of teams, I think that scared a lot of teams off because he was just going up for it. You watch a Jalen Carter YouTube video. He's a game record. 3. You better put 2-3 guys on him. You better put 2-3 guys on him to go ahead and do that. He is a phenomenal athlete. To go ahead and get that squared away. Christian Gonzalez, a lot of good corners in the draft. Christian Gonzalez is there, and Christian Gonzalez is the top corner, I think, of the 3 elite corners. There are 3. Christian Gonzalez, I think, is 1. Devon Witherspoon, that's 2, Illinois, and also 2, Joey Porter Jr. A lot of speculation he may go to Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to do that. I think Pittsburgh is going to go trenches. There will be some pressure to go ahead and sign Joey Porter Jr. Can't go wrong. Speaking of corner, Ravens, Deonte Banks. That was my last mock draft. We're going to stick with that. Even more now, we'll get to DeAndre Hopkins in a second. Even more now, I think a lot of those 3 elite corners be gone. I think they take the best corner still left, and that's Deonte Banks. He's a local product. I'm sure they know a lot about him. I think you could put him right next to the Marlon Humphrey and do that. Corner is a big hole for this team. Hey, you got the Lamar deal done. You got the Odell Beckham deal done. So what's left? Corner. You may need 2 corners. It was a very weak spot for you outside of Marlon Humphrey last year. You can go ahead and shore up that spot. I predicted Deonte Banks to the Ravens. What other positions you might be looking at? Sure, it may not be Deonte Banks. Other names to look at: Cam Smith, Emmanuel Forbes, Kelly Ringo. I don't know which one for sure that they're looking at. This has got to be the spot now, definitely, okay? We could take quarterback out, obviously. We could take a lot of that stuff out. Deonte Banks and corner now would be the focus. Now, whatever else the Ravens might be doing tonight, let's get that up. DeAndre Hopkins will be traded. We hope it's the Ravens. What did Lamar say? Hey, come holler at me, right? When you get Beckham and you get DeAndre Hopkins. So is it a coincidence that he's signing? It's possible that there is a DeAndre Hopkins trade. Been hearing this a lot. Darius Slay kind of on his podcast kind of reiterated there's something cooking. There's a couple of guys here kind of reiterated maybe there's something going on. Pat McAfee Pat McAfee show, they've been saying DeAndre to the Bills. We'll see. It could be something cooking tonight. This could be a bigger celebration tonight. You can only imagine. They'll blow the roof off the Ravens draft party downtown Baltimore if DeAndre Hopkins winds up as a Raven tonight. I'm sure. So we'll see. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be traded here during the draft. May not be tonight. By tomorrow, I think we'll know with DeAndre Hopkins. Arizona, I'm sure, would want a pick in this draft. So that's why I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen here. So keep in mind, let's see what the Ravens are actually doing. Also, too, let's talk about the Ravens a little bit more here. I'm predicting also Ravens will trade back in the first round. Okay? I don't think they're going to keep this pick. Now, I've mocked Deonte Banks, 22, partly because I think they aren't going to trade up in that sense. They're not going to trade up. I think they'd love to trade back in a second round pick or get to the second round. I think that's possibly what's going to happen. Now, to use the Eric DeCosta term, you need 2 to tango. I don't know who wants us to get the click. This is going to be on the clock. There has to be somebody there that a team would want. There has to be somebody there. Let's pretend Hayden Hooker's there. Team wants to get a shot at the quarterback. Hey, Hayden Hooker, there you go. Ravens at a 22 pick. I can absolutely see something like that. Or something along those lines. Maybe one of the corners falls or something along those lines. That's something that will happen on the clock. I think the Ravens absolutely trade back. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say 70% that they would go ahead and trade back in the first round. That's pretty much what I'm thinking. Teams also likely to trade down, I think. Colts always trade down. Everybody's been saying Chris Ballard is the most stubborn. He's not going to trade up. I've been saying that on the stream for a long time. He's not going to trade up. He's going to trade down if he can and still get the quarterback, especially if it's not Young or Stroud, or I don't know how you feel about the quarterback. It's going to be down. I think the Ravens trade down. I think the Chiefs are also looking to trade down. The draft party is actually in Kansas City, so a lot of their fans are going to be out there. I don't think they're in a hurry to do anything. I think if somebody wants to come up get one of the quarterbacks and make a trade with them, I think they'd be happy to go ahead, trade down, pay a little bit less money because you're getting the same type of player. Trading down, moving up. Who wants to tango with you? Titans, Tennessee Titans. They're looking for a quarterback. I think they are a team that definitely could move in the top 3, top 5 to the quarterback. I think they believe if they can get one of the quarterbacks, they can move up and do it. Who else? Bucks, same spot. Possibly, look, Tom Brady retired. They could be looking at one of the quarterbacks. They could be looking to move up and do something. I think that's a team. Falcons, been awfully quiet. They got everybody convinced that Desmond Ridder is their guy. I don't know why I don't see that. I don't see that they're going to just go ahead and stay with that. That Desmond Ridder is their guy. So we'll go ahead and see if that is the case. And the Texans, okay, as far as trading up. Now they have the number 2 pick, and so they're not going to get the number 1 pick. But I'm talking about the 12. Could they actually still do that? Okay, so we have a chance to really make our team better. We can take Will Anderson at the 1 pick, and then we could take Will Levis with the 2. They could be looking to move up. I don't put that out of the realm, or one of the wide receivers, or something else that they want. Those are the teams, I think, that are looking to trade up and down in the draft. Okay, so Ravens tonight, what do you expect? Possibly a trade down, I'm expecting. If they stay pat, and it is possible that there's no trade partners, I look at guys like Deontay Banks in the first round. I look at a name like Cam Smith, Clark Phillips. Another name to look out for. Kelly Ringo from Georgia, Emmanuel Forbes, like that. I'd be fine out of left field. I don't think they're going to take Tyreek Stevenson. It's one of my favorite corners in the draft. He's going to be a guy that they are interested in. Kelly Ringo, to go ahead, Tyreek Stevenson in the first round. That's something that the Ravens definitely would be interested in to go ahead and get that taken care of. Corner is what I predict. You never know what happened. Best player available, right player, right price. That has been their mantra of the whole time here. Best player available. Could see an edge rusher. Outside chance of that. I don't think a first round one would be there, but possibly it wouldn't shock me if Will McDonald was the selection, or BJ O'Leary was the selection. Unless it wouldn't shock me. I don't think what we're hearing about DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe you don't take a receiver, but maybe Quentin Johnson is there. Maybe they like Zay Flowers. Maybe they like Jordan Anderson. That's possible. I think it'll be one of those 3 spots. And also, you never go wrong with linemen. Okay? So, possibly, Cyrus Torrance. Possibly one of the tackles, Broderick Jones. Maybe he falls 22 or something. You never know. One of those guys. I think they would keep that defensive line as well. I don't think that's a first round possibility because I don't know how many are there. Brandon Breeze, but that's a name out there that might be there late. Kenny Chancey, Pitt, possibly out there for that. So we'll see how that goes tonight. So we have had a reason to celebrate today. Let's even put it on the screen one more time. $260 million 5-year contract extension. Lamar Jackson, $185 guaranteed per team and resources. All right. So thank you very much for joining us for the ravorisports podcast special pre-draft podcast. So definitely tonight, we will see if we're on tonight. We may do another one tonight here, see how the draft goes like this, because it's about to start here in about a few minutes. So I'm going to be watching, like all of you will, the draft, and let's see how the Ravens build their team, see if DeAndre Hopkins shows up, see if there's a trade down or a trade up. A couple other things. Trey Lance might get traded tonight. You're interested in another team. Ryan Tannehill or anything like that. Any vets possibly traded. Mike Evans' name has been popping up all of a sudden all over the place. That's the beauty of it. It's draft day. Merry Christmas. Happy Easter. It's draft day. You enjoyed the draft. We'll see you after. You have a great day.